Hello, good morning. My name's Patrick, and where should I start? I can actually talk for about 3 hours today, but I'll make it in 5 minutes. And you know, I did the pandemic again this morning, and I don't spend a lot of time on it because I still get what I got in January. And when I told you back then that there's no power in this virus, there's a small virus going around, and they're making everybody wear a mask, and the mask is what? Submission. Now there's a Sorka Fall story out, and her name's Sister Sarah, and I think they're military intelligence, but they write these articles, and I'll try to put it down below. And she just did a synopsis of why do we spread 6 feet apart? Why do we wear a mask? All these things that aren't necessary, but why are we doing them? Closing the businesses and things like that. And it is a psyops. And it's part of the revolution going on. We're actually taking the power back from the bad guys, but the bad guys are holding on. So I'm down to 44% demonic control of the planet. And I think about 5 years ago when I started, it was 84%. So every time I reported to you, we've been going down, and it's been slow. Now, the last time I did it was about 6 weeks ago, and we were at 89%. I mean, 49%. 49%. That broke the 50%. And so we're at 44 now. Things are accelerating. Everything's going to be exposed. This is all about the virus, is to get Trump out of office. And look, they want to burn down the Portland federal building. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. And I said they would go into a negative 10. Remember that about Portland? And they were always, I don't know what their problem is. The whole town is demonically possessed. The real estate is going to do bad. Let me see. Just because of this. Okay. Look at this. Okay, give me real estate going to go up or down in Portland in the next year, for the next year. Show me the next year, Portland. So let's see what we got here. How about 50%? All right, 50%. And what's going to happen is there's going to be it's at negative 10, and it's going to go and recover for a while at a neutral. It's not going to go positive. It's not going to be like the vibration won't go in. I'm using the 50-50 chart, by the way. Excuse me. So it's really hard to explain, but it's going to go back up to negative 10 again. So there's going to be a breather. If you own real estate, you own a business, try to sell it, because the mayor and the people that run that city are sociopaths, psychotic, and they're really demonically possessed. I'm not making this up. So the city, the soul of Portland, is possessed as well. So, but the good people want to come out and correct it and save the town. It's a beautiful, beautiful little town. But it's too bad. So it's going to have a reprieve and it's down the road. Everything's going to go quiet, and that's your reprieve. And, I told you a year ago to sell at Portland, and if you can't get out of there, you're going to be stuck. And it's never going to be good. And the second negative, so it's a reprieve, and then it goes back up to negative 10. And it goes back up to negative 10, I think that's more like an earthquake or something. So that's different. So there's different scores here. There's a negative 10 for the social, economic, cultural, and then there's, like hurricanes and things of that nature. And Portland does get that later on. And it could be all karmic. A lot of these earthquakes are karma. So that reminds me of a dream I had a while back, a couple weeks ago. And you remember the dream I had on the East Coast? I was in Florida, and I walked through the dunes, the sand dunes, and I got to the beach. And I noticed that the water level, or the mean high water level, That's a stationary number. Even though there's tides, there's a mean high water. And it went up, and I'm familiar with the location, and it went up like 11, 12 feet is what it did. So there's, that's pretty much like a little vision to show me that the water, the sea levels are going up, but it's not to global warming. It's other issues, and they're not telling us what it is. And that will happen over, I believe, a couple years. I have to double check. Well, anyway, interesting enough. So I had that one, 18 months ago. And then I had another one for the West Coast a couple weeks ago where I saw the pine tree sticking through the ocean. And it kind of reminded me like Big Sur. And I imagine it goes up to, Eureka and into Oregon, maybe. And so anyway, I was looking down at the ocean. I was up high, which is kind of like Big Sur. You're looking down, and you can see trees coming up because, again, the sea level rose. And it's just telling me it's going to happen. That's pretty much it. And so that's both East and West Coast. So I don't know when it's going to happen. I did it a few months ago, and I got the indication it's going to be over a period of time, but a short period of time, maybe like 18 months, a couple years, something like that. And I actually don't know what's causing it. It could be the flip of the axis we talked about before. It could be a quarter flip. Any of those, Edgar Casey talked about. Anytime you have a flip of the axis, it can create those kind of effects. And it could cause underground or under the sea, the land could rise, let's say. And that could happen if there's an expansion of the earth. When it does that, you're spreading out the water and you're bringing up the earth. And that will cause, the effect will be a visual, same amount of water, but it's up higher. And the earth is always, always, always changing. So what do? You walk away from it. And I did it. I mean, I'm not being funny. You should have warning. It's not going to be. And I know people are saying there's going to be tsunamis on the east and west coast from possibly anything like a meteor or those chunks of rock under the sea that could fall and cause an energy wave to go across the Pacific or go across like from the Azores to the east coast. So that's there. I just wanted to talk about those two things. And I wanted to reiterate the pandemic is everything is fake. I don't know what to say. Show me a scale of 1 through 100. Here we are. Scale of 1 through 100. Show me what percent of the pandemic is fake. Okay, maybe it's not all fake. Maybe I'm wrong. Show me. Okay, there we go. Do you see it? Okay. Okay, what do you want me to do? Okay, it's 95% fake. This is like someone's going to come out and say the emperor has no clothes. It's kind of, it's very overwhelming. But don't worry about it. I mean, you got to live. You got to put on the mask. And the whole world's going to be like this for a while. And we just have to go and get through this and go to the supermarket and, you have to put your mask on. You do. Where I live is becoming more and more draconian. Those people who, and they're basically the Democrats. Isn't it funny how it's becoming a party issue to make people perform? But I'm not saying don't wear the mask. I seldom do. But I live in a place where I can, I can drive and I can go out in wilderness and I'm not bothered. I walk down the road. I don't wear a mask. No one else does. Only when you go into the supermarket and things like that, you have to put it on. Now the big town, not too far away, they moved a lot of eating out on the street where people used to park. It's like a tourist town. And so they're doing that. I haven't been down there. I don't go there because I don't like the people. They're just totally possessed. The whole city is. And we just have, it's just like Portland. They got this disease thinking. And they want this Marxist state. And this is Marxism last hurrah. And it's going to try through the kids and through television to try to gain more control. But what's happening? It's going the other way because Marxism needs demonic possessions of the citizens and I can go on and on and on. But just know it's going down, down, down. Like the Earth is going up, up, up. It's increasing. So part of the sea level is part of the new era, and that thing. And keep your eye on China. They're going to go out and gobble up a lot of food. This flooding they're having, and it'll affect us. I haven't studied it anything, but I imagine they're going to go on a big buying spree, and they're going to need everything. They're going to need everything, and so our prices will probably go up. It depends if there's any protection. Is Trump and the administration going to prevent China from buying all our crops? We have to have some protection here. We have to figure out how much we're going to let them buy and not let the prices get too out of hand, or you don't want to be cold because they're going to have food shortages. So, but we have to think of our own citizens first, all right? And that's there. So, I'm going to go goodbye for now.